In this video, we're going to explore some language associated with division. The three main words we're going to learn about are dividend, divisor, and quotient. You will have already watched a video about two types of division, grouping and sharing. If you haven't watched this, then it may be useful to watch this first before continuing with this video. As a reminder, in grouping, we know the total number, the amount per group, and we're trying to find out the number of groups. In sharing, we also know the total number, we know the number of groups, and we're trying to find out the amount per group. We'll use these two contexts to make sense of the language we're exploring here. In a grouping context, I know how many items per group there are. For example, there are 36 basketballs. They're stored in the PE cupboard, so there are 4 per box. How many boxes are there? This is a grouping context because we know how many items per group. There are 4 basketballs per box. The equation that represents this is 36 divided by 4 equals 9. If we use the equation from the previous problem, the 36 is the dividend. The dividend is the total amount, or the number being divided by another number. In this case, 36, the total number of basketballs, is being divided by 4, the number of basketballs per group. The divisor is the number that the dividend will be divided by. In grouping contexts, this is the amount per group. The quotient is the result of dividing the dividend by the divisor. In a grouping situation, this is the number of groups, which in this case was 9. 9 boxes are needed to hold all the basketballs if they're stored, 4 per box. We could change the situation, and instead of storing them 4 per box, we might have a larger box and store them 9 per box. Now we would need 4 boxes. Our dividend hasn't changed. It's still 36, the number of basketballs we had. The divisor is now 9. This is the number of basketballs per box. This is because we're dividing 36 by 9. The quotient is now 4. If we divided 36 by 9, the result is 4. We'll need 4 boxes. If we look at this from a sharing context, we might say there are 36 basketballs. They're shared equally between 4 teams. How many basketballs did each team get? It's a sharing context because we know how many groups or sharers there are, and we're trying to work out the amount per group. Our equation for the problem is 36 divided by 4 equals 9. The dividend hasn't changed. This is still 36, which is the total number of basketballs, and the number that is being divided by another number. The divisor is still the number that the dividend is being divided by, but now represents the number of groups or sharers, in this case the 4 teams. The quotient is the result of dividing 36 by 4, which is 9. This represents the amount per group. The teams get 9 basketballs per team. As before, if we stay with the sharing context, but instead of 4 teams, we have 9 teams, we can see that 36 basketballs shared between 9 teams gives 4 balls per team. The dividend is the same, 36. The divisor is now 9 because we're dividing the 36 balls between the 9 teams, and the quotient is 4 because the result of this division is that they get 4 basketballs per team. One final point to note is around the equals sign. We'll explore this more in another video, but it's important to keep in mind that the equals sign is a symbol that represents an equivalent relationship between what's on one side of the equals sign and what's on the other side of the equals sign. They need to have the same value. So I can rewrite my equation like this. 9 equals 36 divided by 4. This doesn't change which numbers are the dividend and the divisor. 9, the quotient, is still the result of dividing 36 by 4. Or in this case, 4 is the result of dividing 36 by 9. Hopefully that's given you a clearer picture of what the different numerals represent in an equation involving division, including understanding the language, dividend, divisor, and quotient. This language will be used in other quizzes, so it's useful to be familiar with it.